They're gonna jump.
Hey, welcome back to ScreenCrush. I'm Ryan Airy. Thrawn is finally coming. The bad guys just won. The Eye of Sion is on its way to another galaxy to bring the long-lost Grand Admiral back from exile. But what is awaiting them in the new galaxy? Who lives there? What dangers are the heroes going to face? And what was Thrawn doing there all this time? And don't forget, Thrawn is not alone. He is with Ezra Bridger, the Jedi who sent him there. So how does he fit into what's happening off in Peridia? Let's dive into what awaits us when we arrive in this new galaxy and what Thrawn has been up to all these years.
And allowing Thrawn's return as heir to the Empire.
In the second episode, Morgan Elsbeth revealed that Thrawn was exiled to a planet called Peridia, located in a distant galaxy.
Pathway to Peridia.
He was sent there over a decade earlier by Ezra Bridger, the guy Sabine wants to bring back so much and that she betrays Ahsoka and joins Baylan and Shin for. Can't really blame her though, because Baylan is pretty awesome. So at the end of Rebels, Ezra got help from the Purrgil and he sent himself and Thrawn off to that distant galaxy. Now, according to Morgan Elsbeth, an ancient people from the distant galaxy visited the main Star Wars galaxy very long ago.
This place was not built by the Jedi. Whose work is it?
An ancient people from a distant galaxy.
Now, of course, it's not a map to Thrawn himself. This map was created a long time ago. It points to the planet Peridia off in the distant galaxy.
So what's so special about this planet?
Well, we will circle back to that, but Thrawn is there, and he is somehow communicating with Morgan from this distant galaxy.
Distant galaxy, new galaxy, old galaxy? Whose galaxy is it anyway? You keep talking about galaxies with no names, and it's very confusing, person.
You're right, they really should have given the galaxy some names. So let's call the new galaxy Peridia, and the main Star Wars galaxy Skylaxy.
Hold on.
Because, you know, Skylaxy, like Skywalker and Galaxy, Skylaxy.
Good job.
Person, don't try to make Skylaxy a thing. It's never going to be a thing.
It should be canon. Anyways, when Ezra sent himself and Thrawn off to Peridia, they were aboard the Chimera. Now that is Thrawn's flagship. An Imperial-class Star Destroyer of that size has around 40,000 crew members, officers, and troopers. This means that Thrawn had a decent-sized force while he was exiled off to Peridia. So this likely means that Ezra was captured since he was way outnumbered. Now Ezra is strong with the Force though, and even without a lightsaber, he won't go down without a fight. Remember, he gave his lightsaber to Sabine. Either way, Thrawn and his crew were stranded, forced to wait for a rescue. Morgan Elsbeth is somehow in contact with the Grand Admiral, and she's talking to him through the Force.
Thrawn calls to me, across time and space.
See, the Nightsisters are powerful Force users from Dathomir. That's actually Darth Maul's homeworld. The witches use this green, misty Force magic.
Not magic, person, illusions.
Either way, it's a supernatural aspect of the Force that taps into the dark side. Now, one of the most powerful Force witches, Mother Talzin, had many unnatural abilities, including talking with people who were located on other planets.
Mother Talzin.
Yes, Savage. You are getting closer and closer.
And this is how Morgan might be talking with Thrawn, but we think there's more to it than just that. You see, the partnership between Thrawn and Morgan is far more important than you might realize. The Nightsisters became too much of a threat to Palpatine, so he had almost all of them killed. Only a few survived: Asajj Ventress from the Clone Wars, Merrin from Fallen Order, and Morgan Elsbeth. So Thrawn making an alliance with the Nightsisters sort of means that he went against the Emperor. Palpatine placed a lot of trust in Grand Admiral Thrawn, even seeing him as crucial as Tarkin or Vader. But Thrawn was also never truly loyal to old Palpatine. Thrawn's loyalty is to his people first, the Chiss. He allied himself with the Empire to form a powerful alliance to protect his people, who are located in the unknown regions of the galaxy. Now those parts of the galaxy are under attack by a mysterious enemy called the Grisk. More on them later. Thrawn is a master tactician, so he must have seen the military value of having a powerful Nightsister by his side, kept secret from Palpatine. Unless, of course, Palpatine allowed this to happen. Who knows? The guy was a wackadoo. And Thrawn knew that. Palpatine was as much an ally as he was an enemy.
Keep your friends close, keep your enemies closer.
So he had to make some plans in case the Empire or the First Order ever became a threat to his people. And a Nightsister is a powerful ally to have. And Morgan seems to know a lot about the ancient visitors from the distant galaxy, something that she must have shared with her master. And there are some clues that point to the Nightsisters being these ancient people from Peridia.
How did you come to that decision?
Well, you see, AHSOKA found the orb thingy in a Nightsister temple. This orb is the map to Peridia, and apparently it was created by the Nightsisters.
Coincidence? I think not!
Now, we went about this in way more detail in this video. Morgan knows a lot about the other galaxy and how to get there, almost like it is part of her people's history. And while the Nightsisters' magic is connected to the dark side, it behaves differently. They can do many things with it, even reanimate the dead. Merrick was basically a smoke zombie. And unlike most dark side users who consistently betray and kill one another, the Nightsisters are like one big family that actually cares about each other. So the Nightsisters' magic could be a force ability that originates from the other galaxy, where the light side and the dark side are slightly different from how they are in the Skylaxy. If that is the case, then there may be other Nightsisters on Peridia. So if Morgan knew about this, then she must have told Thrawn. So when the Purrgil took him off to the other galaxy, he traveled to Peridia, where he knew that he could find help from the Nightsisters who still lived there. And through their magic, the Nightsisters in the far galaxy made a connection with Morgan, and she devised a plan to bring him back with the Eye of Sion. And the reason the Eye of Sion is so huge is because they're also going to use it to transport an entire fleet. And while waiting for his ride home, Thrawn must have spent years studying this strange galaxy. Thrawn has a great appreciation for art and culture, and he weaponizes them to understand his enemies better and how to defeat them.
To defeat an enemy, you must know them. Not simply their battle tactics, but their history, philosophy, art.
I mean, it is a whole new galaxy out there filled with potential new allies and enemies. Now, if the Nightsisters are indeed the ancient people who came from Peridia, then you would have to wonder why they would leave their home in the first place.
There were other evil aliens there that made them leave, right? Is that what you're gonna say?
Actually, no. So before we talk about why the Nightsisters left Peridia and other possible Force users in this new galaxy, let's talk about the galaxy invading enemy, the Yuuzhan Vong.
Oh no! Grab the children! Save the children!
So the Yuuzhan Vong are from Legends. That's the canon stories from before Disney bought Lucasfilm. They invaded from another galaxy. They were a huge threat, and their galaxy-spanning war killed tons and tons of people, including Chewbacca. The Vong were not Force users. In fact, they were so evil that the Force itself sort of rejected them.
Too much evil.
So they're the new big baddies in Star Wars?
Well, you see, Disney sort of replaced the Vong with another scary species called the Grisk. They were introduced in Timothy Zahn's amazing Thrawn book trilogy. The Grisk are a massive empire terrorizing the unknown regions of the galaxy. Remember, that's where Thrawn and his people, the Chiss, come from. In fact, some of these Thrawn novels revealed that Thrawn's entire motivation is protecting his people from the Grisk. Thrawn believes that the Grisk were such a threat that they could destroy the Chiss and the Empire. This is why he ended up joining the Empire in the first place, to form a strong alliance to defend his people. Now, Thrawn has always been a fascinating villain, since the original Heir to the Empire trilogy, where he was just like the most brilliant mastermind. But the inclusion of the Grisk gives his motivations a lot more depth, and it actually makes him more of an anti-hero. This is also reminiscent of his motivation in Legends. He worked with Palpatine to protect his people and the galaxy from the Yuuzhan Vong invasion.
Protection. Is that how you see this? This is protection?
I'm doing what has to be done to stave off something worse.
So Dave Filoni could use the Grisk as the galaxy-invading enemy like the Vong. Now, to be honest, there's nothing in these Thrawn books that point to the Grisk coming from another galaxy. But they're very mysterious. We don't know much about them. We don't even see them. So it could work. And here is where things get wild.
This is where the fun begins.
The Grisk might have been the Nightsisters' servant warriors in Peridia, just like the Zabrak were their servants on Dathomir.
But then how could they come to the Star Wars galaxy?
Well, they might have been brought there by Nightsister magic. I actually think the Nightsisters are capable of a form of hyperspace travel on their own.
What makes you say that?
Well, we've already seen two different kinds of organic life that can travel through hyperspace. There's the Purrgil whales, which we've talked about, and the Loth wolves on Lothal, who can travel with hyperspace tunneling. Now, in the Jedi Fallen Order games, the Nightsister Merrin is able to teleport all over the place. But in the game Jedi Survivor, we actually see this teleportation from Cal's point of view, and it looks a lot like hyperspace tunneling, just like Ezra did with the Loth wolves in Star Wars Rebels. Therefore, I think the Nightsister magic has been used to travel through hyperspace for a very long time. So it's no surprise that they were able to travel from another galaxy to the Skylaxy. Or maybe they rode the Purrgil through space, like the Freeman ride sandworms in Dune. Actually, that's kind of awesome. I'd like to see that. But it could have been even bigger than that. The Grisk are from the unknown regions. It's an area of space where hyperspace routes are unpredictable and basically unstable. This is because of a cataclysmic event that happened thousands of years ago, which made hyperspace travel in the unknown regions extremely difficult. So maybe this cataclysmic event somehow sent the Grisk from Peridia to the unknown regions. And it could have been the world between worlds, which we see at the end of episode 4. Now, without getting too much into it, because we already covered it all in this video, the TLDR on this realm is that it's a pathway between space and time. There are many gates in this realm, and they all serve as windows to the past and future. But they might also serve as gates through space, like sending the Grisk from the Peridia galaxy to the Skylaxy. In fact, when the Lothwolves use hyperspace tunneling, it looks like they enter the world between worlds. Now, Dave Filoni explained that using the realm in such a manner could cause chaos and destruction.
And so everything will break, and will cause chaos, and will cause destruction.
Well, maybe someone used it like that, like the Nightsisters who used the world between worlds to travel from their galaxy to the Skylaxy. But this led to the devastation of hyperspace in the unknown regions. This is how the Grisk, who might also originate from Peridia, ended up in these unknown regions. So the Grisk are sort of like the White Walkers in space. They were created to wage war in Peridia by the Nightsisters, but they were lost in the unknown regions and separated from their masters. So they became their own masters and began enslaving the unknown regions. And the Thrawn books revealed that the Grisk started invading the rest of the galaxy before the Empire fell. The Grisk could be the threat that brings all of these Mandoverse heroes together to stop this new invasion. And this also means that Ahsoka and the other good guys will have to team up with Thrawn and the other bad guys. This might be the reason why Baylan is helping Thrawn. He's aware of the Grisk threat, so defeating them is the greater good that he was talking about.
One must destroy in order to create, to serve a greater good.
And this is how the Mandoverse will have a separate conflict from the sequels. So all these stories won't just be leading to this.
Somehow Palpatine returned.
So the new galaxy gives Star Wars an entirely new playground. It means new stories, new aliens, new places. It is a whole new world of stories. And I cannot believe that they will introduce a new galaxy without doing anything interesting with it, depending if they even want to introduce the Grisk and if they have the time to explain them to non-book readers. I mean, the show already depends on so many stories that predate this show, but the Grisk can work in the Mandoverse, especially since they're such a unique enemy that is nothing like the Empire. Now, if the Nightsisters and their dark magic are from the other galaxy, then there must be a light side of magic in Peridia, meaning that there are Force users who use the light side of magic. Maybe they're the Day Sisters or the Bright Brothers. If that's a thing, then this is where Ahsoka will find Ezra. If he escaped Thrawn's ship, then he must have searched for help in this new galaxy. Ezra is highly attuned to the Force, so he might have even sensed those light side magic users. He joined them, and they will help the good guys fight Thrawn's Nightsister Empire. So this is what could await us in the new galaxy. Do you think that the Grisk will be the new baddies in the Mandoverse? What do you think Thrawn and Ezra have been doing for all these years in the new galaxy? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below or at me on Twitter. And if it's your first time here, welcome to the channel. Please subscribe, smash that bell for alerts. For ScreenCrush, I'm Ryan Airy.